Here we are, everybody. We are here with director Martin Wilson, and he has a new film coming out called Great White. It's going to be in theaters and on demand and digital July 16th, 2021. Let me give you the rundown. A fun filled flight to a remote atoll turns into a nightmare for five passengers when their seaplane is destroyed by a freak accident and they are trapped on a raft 100 miles from shore with man-eating sharks lurking beneath the surface. Martin, how are you today, man?
I'm fantastic. I'm excited about the release in the United States, and I think it's a film that people will find something in it for themselves.
Well, everybody loves a shark movie. I mean, seriously.
It's enduring genre, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But how did you become attached to this particular project?
It came through several producers, primarily through my TV commercial career. So Michael Robertson and Neil Kingston knew me through TV commercials and felt I was a solid fit for this genre. And so it just started like a lot of these things, chatting and getting the script, and eventually all the planets aligned, which is fantastic, and we made it.
Wow. Now, when you were, this is like you said, you were in commercials before, and this is your first feature, right?
It is. It's my
This
first feature-length film.
was it something that was a little bit daunting for you, or?
I think it's always daunting when you're doing something you haven't done before, but I think like a lot of people relate who's, I've been striving and wanting to do a feature film for such a long time and got so close and then things don't work out that you just dive off the deep end, and what you don't know, it doesn't matter, because you just want to get to actually achieve a lifelong goal. So yeah, I just jumped off the deep end.
Yeah, and so when you were looking at the script and reading it, were you a bit afraid of doing yet another shark movie? We have Jaws, we have Deep Blue Sea, we have Sharknado, we have
Yeah.
we have so
Yeah.
many of these films. What was going through your mind, and what were you trying to offer that was different from any of those?
I think we were we were always realistic about it. I mean, Jaws is such a high watermark. So, and you're not doing Citizen Kane, you're not doing Sharknado, you're doing a survival thriller set in the northern tropical waters of Australia. So the point of difference we're trying to make is to really showcase the landscape as a key character, that it's so beautiful, so beguiling, so rich and visceral, but underneath these beguiling, beautiful waters is something that lurks, which is very primal, very dangerous. So I think for me, it was really digging into the ironies of that and letting that sort of seep through as a point of difference, and just trying to find some of the nuances in the characters just to elevate the genre as much as we could. But so just really looking at those key visual points of difference.
Yeah, and I suppose that is something really interesting for the viewers that should catch the movie. They should be focusing on is that odd dichotomy between the beauty and the savagery of nature. Yeah,
Absolutely. It's and as people know, Australia is there is so many things that can kill you here. And one of them is sharks. And I think it is, you take your life into your own hands when you go into the water. And I think it's a fascinating thing that they sort of like shark movies or creature features, in that you can live vicariously through the characters, and that you're going to be walking out the cinema with your two legs intact. But it's going on that roller coaster ride, where you get those thrills, but it's all going to be okay in the end, but you still lived on the edge for a little bit. So I think there's a little bit of that, as humans, that we love to go through every now and again.
Yeah, it's catharsis is what it is.
Catharsis, yes.
Yeah.
Dichotomy, catharsis. Love those words, Norman. Nice one. Love it.
I like the word receptacle too.
Oh, you're awesome, man.
Now, okay, so you shot on location, yeah, like on the beach.
Yes. Yeah.
So I've been told by a number of people, if you're making a film, don't make it on the water.
Yeah,
Now,
don't work with kids and animals.
was this a difficult shoot? Were there
There
challenges?
are a lot of challenges because yes, firstly I had only 25 days, which is a crazy schedule to do a movie on water. And with when you do movie in the elements in the water, you come up against those elements like wind and rain and all sorts of jellyfish in the water stinging people. There's so
Oh
many
my God.
things. Yeah, no, there's so many factors that come into play, that can get in the way of getting the movie shot. So, and then of course stunt work and then shooting in underwater tanks also has its own difficulties in itself, with people having to hold their breaths, working very confined, claustrophobic locations. It's a real challenge for everyone in the production, the actors, the stuntmen, the filmmakers, and then into the post. So yeah, it was a real challenge.
I can't even imagine. I mean, and with Jellyfish, did people really? Did any of the actors get it, or was it crew? Or
I think the stingers, yeah, I think that a couple of people got stung. And you know what, when you have to rush off set for a couple of hours, you lose those hours. You can't just buy them back. And when you've got 25 days, it's just every second counts.
every single second. Were the underwater shots at all on location, or were those in a
No,
tank?
that they were in a tank. So we had a tank actually near the Brisbane airport, where it's a training tank actually, where for example, if your helicopter goes into the sea, they teach you how to get out safely and so forth. So it was sort of a huge big training tank. And then we had another tank that we shot in this massive studio for the night scenes.
Wow. This again, though. This seems like it was a pretty big production for your first feature, but you kind of took it on. Do you you just go for it? Like you said, not you don't know what you don't know, or it's like okay.
Look, I'm still in therapy, but I'm sort of fine. The film's done.
Exposure therapy, hitting the beach every so I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. You are also known for a particular cinematic style and pulling some emotions out of your actors. Do you have a technique? Do you have a way of working with actors, or what's your secret?
I think that, and I've always said it, the secret to the good performances and is just good casting. And we were very fortunate to have such an amazing cast that was so courageous and just really threw themselves into the part, because it was very demanding on the shoot. So I think performance-wise, it's always about connecting with the characters, and I wrote a lot of very in-depth character bios and histories, so the actors could really feel that they could absorb themselves and become raw and authentic in the moment. And we had to do that because we had lots of scenes with just 5 people sitting on a raft. So, we had to try and find those moments and find those nuances that made these characters, I don't know, real and nuanced in 3D. So, you sort of felt for them, if they were taken.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that it's probably the research that you do in your own characters and writing and things like that
Yeah,
really does it.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
so you you've done it. You're still in therapy, you say.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but what is some of the advice that you would give to another first time feature director?
I think films are made in pre-production, and I think the more preparation you do with all the elements of the production, and is the first thing, and then just trying to, I don't know, when you're working with people, it's directing to me is people management. It's the biggest thing. You know, how do you work? How do you get the best out of everyone around you? And I think the key about filmmaking for me is just is you want to work as a team. You want everyone to be working together and open, and not to be closed off. And I think the best thing is to embrace everyone and their skills and their talents, and give them the chance to shine. That's to me is all about working as a team, and filmmaking is just collaborative. So yeah, find those great people that you want to collaborate with, and bring out the best in, and hopefully bring out the best in their talents and skills and what special qualities they have to offer you.
Excellent. So don't work on the water,
No.
and be good at teamwork, and
Yes.
hire a good therapist. That's your
Yeah.
advice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once you got those 3 key elements there, and then you'll survive this crazy filmmaking business,
And then you get
Absolutely.
some coffee thrown in, and maybe some vodka. I don't know.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Some grappa.
Right. Well, listen, do you have anything else coming up? Like, do you have anything else
Yeah.
coming up after this? Do you have another feature lined up, or?
Well, I've got I want to continue to work in the creature feature world. That's
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, like I mean, one of the reasons that the film appealed to me is because I love genre, I love action, I love creature features, and I loved when growing up. For me, it was watching films like The Thing with John Carpenter, and
Yes.
Aliens with Jim Cameron, those types of movies, which were elevated genre with really great characters, super suspenseful. Those are the type of films like a lot of people want to make. Obviously, I want to make them as well. So I've got some creature feature ideas. One that has a werewolf on a plane. One that has some big cats like panthers and cougars that are the legend of these big cats that are roaming around in Australia, actually, because I have a bit of a Stand By Me project with that, because there's a legend that in World War II, when the US forces, the servicemen were serving in Australia in the 40s, they had mascots. They had cougars and things like that. And when the Australian government said, hey, when they were leaving, they said, look, you've got to put down your friends, your pets. And apparently they let them off into the bush. So they've been breeding and successfully navigating the Australian bush landscape ever since. So, which is interesting because we don't have that type of apex predator. So combining that with a really strong Stand By Me sort of coming of age film, I think is quite a fascinating thing.
That's a legend, really? Like, why am I not hearing of this until now?
Well, it's because it's in Australia and you guys are in the States.
And we don't care about anyone else.
You don't care. No, you don't. So we're over here, we're supporting you and everything, but we we speak the same language, we have the same culture. But no, that is I think if you can hook onto a fascinating legend, people can get their teeth into. I think it's cool.
No
so
pun
yeah,
intended.
I really want to work into those areas. And what about yourself? You have a favorite film in this type of genre, obviously? Like,
well,
what do you love?
No question, my favorite horror film is Halloween. Bar none, just finished. Like, that's the one I'm crazy about. Do I love creature features? Yes, I love Jaws. I love The Thing. Are you kidding me? That movie was absolutely, the practical effects alone in that film should just be studied. There's another film that came out a couple of years ago called The Void. Have you seen that one?
Right. No, I haven't. No.
See it. It's got some big The Thing vibes. And
right, The Void.
Yeah, it's good. And it surprised me how good it was. So creature stuff, very HP Lovecraft stuff. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I love all films. My favorite genre
Mm.
obviously is horror. Uh,
Yeah.
but but I don't know that I have a favorite subgenre. I just want
Yeah.
to be
Right.
scared. I just
What
want to be
about,
affected.
have you seen the original Fright Night?
Of course.
Yeah. It's a
Absolutely.
great film. And
Yeah,
there's
that's a
a
fun
great,
movie.
yeah, it's a fun movie, and there's a great making of. I don't know if you've seen that.
No,
Um,
where?
I think it's called "You're So Scared." What is it, Brewster? It's a UK documentary, and they really delve into the visual effects, and they really delve. If you're right into that sort of stuff, it's a
Right, right.
fascinating. It's one of the best. Hang on, it's called "You're So Cool, Brewster."
You're So Cool,
Is
Brewster.
Yeah, check it out, man.
Okay.
It is very, really fascinating deep dive into that film. It's really
Awesome.
cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
really
looking
well
this up
done.
right now. This
Yeah,
is like this interview is going downhill fast because we're just fanboying
no
together.
worries.
But it was a movie in 2016 called The Void.
Right, I
And
got it, written it down.
yeah, here it is in the chat for you. Um,
Awesome.
there you go. But yeah. So I dig that stuff, and
Yeah.
I would love to, let us know what the development is,
Mm,
how that's coming along. Tell us what's
yeah,
going on.
stay in
Uh,
touch,
yeah, because we're
because
definitely
we're
here
going to
to
keep
support you.
doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it is a fascinating world, and I think there's a market for this type of stuff, so that's where I want to that's what I want to get into. I want to keep doing that stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Well, do it.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
You don't need permission. Go.
No,
So
now that I'm out of therapy, I'm good to go again.
excellent. Well, listen.
Have you seen do they send you a copy of the
Yeah, they
film?
did.
How do
They
you?
sent me.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Listen, please keep in touch and
Yeah,
let us
no
know.
worries, Norman.
Yeah, let us know when your next project is, or if you want to talk about something coming up. But ladies and gentlemen, this was Martin Wilson, and he has this new shark movie coming out called Great White. It's going to be in theaters in the US and on demand and digital on July 16th. And Martin, best of luck with this release in the US.
Thanks,
Uh,
Norman. It's great to
and
talk to you, man.
awesome talking to you
Awesome.
too. Please stay in
All
touch.
right. Thanks, mate.
Take care.
Ciao.